One of the major mistakes that students make is not learning how to learn. The study methods that got you through secondary school or high school may not be effective when used to study concepts taught in the university. If you only did passive reading and somehow managed to pass your exams in secondary school, this obviously wouldn't work in university. One of the most popular but poor study technique that students use is highlighting notes. Rather than engaging their minds to try and recall absorbed information, some prefer to simply color their notes. Highlighting the important points in your notes will not make you remember them. Rather, it is better and far more effective to engage in active recall and spaced repetition. Space your reading time by breaking it down in between weeks. For example, let's say you take chemistry as a course and you want to schedule when to read it. You could study it on Tuesday and then Saturday and then repeat. This is known as spaced repetition, which some of you may already be familiar with. On the how of reading, you should consider active recall. Every time you read, after every session, you should try and recall the information that you read without looking at the book. If you don't remember anything, be happy to check your book, but only after you've tried to recall the information without looking at the book. You should also consider taking practice tests into your study routine or answering the quizzes at the end of each chapter of your text, if there is any. Also, practice past questions with the assumption that it is the question that you'll be answering in your exams. Be conscious of the time allocated for the simulated exam. Read the instructions and appreciate the questions properly. One other mistake that students make is to read everything without narrowing down the relevant information that they were taught or that is likely to be required. Maybe you like the course a lot and you enjoy reading everything about it. That's not bad. But for the purpose of exams, you should try and narrow it down and stick to the information that is relevant. After the exam, you can read whatever you want. Another time wasting method that students tend to engage in is reviewing what they already know. So you've learned this topic, you can recall it at any given time and in any circumstance. Congratulations. Move on to the next one. Spending time reading what you are already familiar with is a waste of time. Go to the ones that you don't understand and practice them. This way, you can ensure that you are well rounded so that from whatever topic the question may come from, you won't be faced by it in the exam hall. It's the beginning of the semester. Exams are far away. Time is on your side. Or so you think. One of the mistakes that students make, including myself, is to start preparation late. One of the factors that leads students to start out late is poor time management. Scheduling your school activities alongside your schoolwork is highly important because it gives you the element of control. You want to make sure that you are in total control of your time. This allows you to focus on your priorities and help prevent late preparation. Starting to prepare for your exams early allows you to study without unnecessary pressure or anxiety. It gives you time to rest in between study sessions and allow you to practice spaced repetition due to the time factor. It is late preparation that leads to cramming right before exams. This, as we know, is a poor study technique and is only used in desperate situations. However, when you start to prepare early, you have the time to set a pace that works for you, and you also have time to identify areas that may be difficult for you to grasp and to work on it. It also allows you to test yourself multiple times using quizzes or answering past questions on the subject. When you start to prepare early, you have the benefit of trying out different study techniques and find which suits you best. This point may be a bit controversial, but I think that it is one aspect that students should contemplate. I am not saying that you should set yourself up for failure, rather, to consider the possibility of its occurrence. Having an open mind is important in this regard. When studying or preparing for exams, as much as you are convinced that you fully understand the concepts and everything, I think that you should also take out time to ask questions from fellow colleagues or from your professors. It is also good to seek clarification on a certain topic or to ask for different opinions on it. This allows you to compare and contrast and figure out which is more likely to be the correct approach. For example, when attempting past questions, it is very important that you are able to appreciate the entirety of the question and what the question demands from you. Sometimes you may think that you've got it on your own, and this is not a bad thing, but it wouldn't hurt to seek a second opinion on the question that you are attempting to answer. From experience, there are moments when I'm completely sure that I understand the question or concept, but then when I hear someone else talk about it, I see a totally new angle which I did not consider, or my approach to the question is entirely changed due to the new information that I've got. Sometimes it isn't just about understanding or memorizing the information, it is also how well you understand the question that has been asked and how well you are able to answer the question. Therefore, whenever you read something about a topic, it is in your best interest to seek a second opinion to clarify or confirm what you've read. This can make you understand the topic even further and deeply than before. One of the best ways to improve your study regimen is to incorporate the use of technology, and this does not necessarily mean the use of educational apps like Anki or Notion, though they may be useful to some. But going outside the letters of your textbooks to research on topics which you are learning is useful. You can Google what you're studying or go on YouTube to find anything related to what you're studying. You can also find websites that provide practical tips or conceptual breakdown on what you're studying. Some of these websites actually have study notes by other students, which could prove useful to your study. This point may sound pretty basic for some of you, but not everyone does this, and it is important that they do. I am certainly guilty of this one. I mean, it should make total sense that out of the 100% upon which I'll be graded on, 40% is comprised of tests and assignments, and that I should spread equal effort to scoring high on all tests, assignments, and exams. However, there are some semesters that I completely disregarded my tests and assignments, as if I would only be graded on the 60% that makes up the exam. As you guessed it, it didn't go well, and I paid dearly for it. When preparing for your exams, it is important that you think of how you'll be assessed and focus on that also. Focusing on one part and neglecting the other will not give you the score that you are aiming for. So, focus on all and practice all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.